I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Tevin Taylor, aka Tevin Talks, man, coming at you with another edition. And we ain't gonna waste no time, man. Let's talk about the NBA Finals. I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Phoenix Suns. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've dedicated over 26 years of my life to basketball. I've trained an NBA guy before. I've trained overseas guys. I've trained high school guys, all the way down to kids who are 5 years old. Like, I've worked with every level and caliber of a player you can think of. I also played high school basketball, college basketball. You know what I mean? I've given a lot of my life to basketball, so I know my shit. So I really want to talk about the Phoenix Suns versus the Milwaukee Bucks, because in Wisconsin here, like, people are Milwaukee Bucks crazy. Like most people, though, I feel there's not a lot of real basketball knowledge. You know what I mean? Like real shit about basketball that makes sense. Like, a lot of people just be giving their opinion, right? So I got some stats too. So I really want to break this shit down. Okay, so I had a conversation with one of my little homies the other day, and he's a Milwaukee Bucks fan, and he's talking about how the Phoenix Suns ain't gonna be able to keep this up or shoot like that, yada yada yada. Bucks are gonna win the NBA Finals, and it's not just him. Like, I heard a shit ton of people bring this shit up. So let's talk about this. So let's talk about the Phoenix Suns first, because Chris Paul is my favorite player in the NBA, and I'm a player's player. Like, wherever Chris Paul go, that's who my favorite team is. Like, when he went to the Clippers, the Clippers was my favorite team. When he went to Houston Rockets was my favorite team. You know what I mean? When he was with the New Orleans Hornets was my favorite team. You know, when he was with OKC was my favorite team. So wherever Chris Paul go, that's who my favorite team is. You feel what I'm saying? But what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about this from a non-biased perspective, okay? This might ruffle a couple people, fellas. So, some Milwaukee Bucks fans, I should say. Or all of them. Fuck, I don't know. All right, so let's start with the Phoenix Suns, like I said. Let's start with some real key shit, right? So, let's talk about how the Phoenix Suns are playing, right? This is huge, though. This is a really key component why they are 2-0 against the Milwaukee Bucks right now. All right. So the biggest thing is, and you hear coaches at any level preach this shit, right? Playing as a team, right? They are playing what you could call Spurs basketball, right? Where they're swinging the ball like 8, 9, 11 times till somebody gets open. Like, they're getting really good quality shots. They're swinging the ball. They're making the defense shift, and they're doing really basic shit, but they're doing it as a team, and they're really effective at it. Dribble, drive, kick, right? They're doing some of the most basic shit, but it's super, super, super critical and important. Like, I can't stress how important this shit is. And you will hear a coach speak about this at any level, right? People are playing their role. They understand who their leader is, right? And I'm going to really talk about why this is important. So they understand who their leader is. They understand Chris Paul. We're going to follow Chris Paul's lead. What he says, that's what we're going to do. The franchise player and their best player, they already understand, is Devin Booker, right? Chris Paul is a seasoned veteran, still got a lot of gas in the tank, man. So they know who their leader is. They're following their leader, no questions asked. They already know who their best player is in their main score they go to guy. They're also playing their roles. Nobody is trying to drop fucking 50 points. Nobody's trying to get out of character. Everybody is playing to their strengths. And on top of that, what I've been noticing is this. Every time they get that ball and they get that bitch on a fast break, you got 3-4 players. You got 3 players running with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, or Payne, whoever's leading the break. And then you also got another guy trailing for the pickup, just in case if they miss. I've watched them get like 8, 9 points doing that shit, like back to back, right? So they're doing all of the shit that every coach preaches about, right? So they're making the Bucks they're forcing the Bucks to actually have to play defense is what they're doing, right? And because they're also shooting ball, you got, Crowder, who can shoot the fuck out the ball, right? Crowder's a good 3-point shooter. You got Chris Paul who can do a little bit of everything. You got Devin Booker who can do a little bit of everything. And then you got cats like Payne who, he going to have a night where he going to give you like 15, 17 points, right? So they're forcing the Milwaukee Bucks to play team defense, which they're not good at. They're good in isolation defense, right? Like, for example, if we're talking about who's the better team as far as overall players and skill and shit, like the Milwaukee Bucks are a better team because of the type of players that they got, right? Like they got Middleton, they got Giannis, they got, Drew Holiday, they got DiVincenzo, who I believe if he keeps progressing the way he's progressing, he's going to be a really good player down the line because he has all the physical capabilities to do it, right? He's like 6'4", 6'5", bounce. He is athletic. He plays hard as fuck. He can shoot the ball a little bit. Good drives. Like he has everything he needs. And each year I've seen him progress even more, right? So, and I'm just talking about like the main key core guys, right? So overall, the Milwaukee Bucks have a better team than the Phoenix Suns. The only difference is everybody understands what it is. They have their leader. We're going to follow Chris Paul's lead. Devin Booker's our main scorer guy, right? Chris Paul always gonna give you what he gonna give you. You ain't got to worry about him, right? Devin Booker's our main scoring guy. All right, Crowder is the guy on the wing shooting. Fucking Aiden, is the guy down the post and getting some of the garbage buckets that them second chance points coach is always talking about. Then you got 3 or 4 guys crashing the fucking basket every time the ball goes up. Every time it goes up. Right? On top of that, the Phoenix Suns, all 5 of their players are contributing. All 5 are in double digits. So, like I said, they're forcing the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are forcing the Milwaukee Bucks to play team defense, and they're not good at that. As you can see, because the Milwaukee Bucks does have a better team. But the Phoenix Suns are playing organized basketball because we already know basketball is a team sport. And I swear to God, I've been saying this shit for years before Chris Paul even went to the Phoenix Suns that if Devin Booker got another all-star on his team, that would be the push that they needed to be a great team. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't expect them to make it all the way to the finals and eat like this, though. I didn't expect all of that. But I always said that if Devin Booker got another all-star on his team next to him, it'll be over with. They'd be a great team because they got young, up-and-coming stars who they young as fuck, right? They're actually stars in the making. Devin Booker is the next generation of top-tier guy. He's a top-tier guy right now. But what I mean is, like, he's the next generation of when KD and Bron and all them motherfuckers retire. Devin Booker is going to be one of those guys. You feel what I'm saying? So then Aiden, he's progressing each year. They Crowder, Crowder is going to be consistent, right? Then you got Payne. He's going to have, some explosive nights here and there. So they're playing to their strengths. They're young. They know who their leader is. They playing team basketball. They crashing the boards. They swinging the ball. The Milwaukee Bucks, the problem with the Bucks is, though, and why they're struggling with that shit is because the Bucks don't know who their leader is. They don't know if their leader is Giannis or Middleton. Now, let me explain this quick. Giannis is the franchise player. Giannis is their best player. But I've also seen plenty of nights where Middleton carried them on his motherfucking back and have won them games. But Giannis is their... By the way, I fuck with Giannis. I would play with Giannis on any team. I would pick him to play on any team, right? And I'm going to break down Giannis too, right? The Milwaukee Bucks fans ain't going to like this, but I swear to God, anybody who really knows basketball, like who's really gave their life to this shit like I have, will understand what the fuck I'm saying. People who haven't played basketball like that or haven't really taken the time to really study it and analyze it, this shit is finna go over their head. So, I'd like Giannis. Giannis is a great fucking player, right? Giannis is a good player. I would pick Giannis on any Olympic team, on any All-Star team, on any NBA. I would always pick Giannis, right? But let's break down the Milwaukee Bucks quick. right? So I got my little laptop here and shit. Okay. Yep. Okay. Now, let's break down Giannis. Giannis isn't a skilled player. Now, I'm going to say this because I already know where the fucking opinion's finna go. Giannis is not a skilled player. Giannis, he's a great player though, but Giannis isn't skilled. What makes Giannis, yeah, he dropped 40 and blah, 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 MVP. He's a great player. I'm not saying he doesn't work his ass off either, but Giannis is not a skilled player. And I'm going to break that down. So, Giannis is a great player for about 7 reasons, but I'll talk about like 4 or 5 of them, right? And you will see this shit in his game. He's been playing the same type of game since he got to the NBA. One, Giannis has length. Like, he's really lengthy. Like, his wingspan, like, he's really lanky. His arms, like, damn near goes past his knees. You know what I mean? Like, and he's tall as fuck. So, he has height and he has length, right? There aren't too many players in the NBA that has the type of length that Giannis has. Okay, so he's really lengthy. 2, Giannis is athletic as fuck, right? So he's tall, he's really lengthy, he has a lot of length, he's athletic as fuck, and Giannis is very agile. Like, his agility with his length and his athleticism really takes him over the top, right? Like, he moves really fucking well. He runs the court really well. He's really agile. You know what I mean? He has really good agility. Right? And the other thing is, Giannis can cover a shit ton of ground, right? But that's also due to his length too. Like, Giannis covers ground, right? Meaning each stride he takes, Giannis is covering a lot of ground with each stride, right? So, he covers ground, he's athletic, he's tall, he's really lengthy. Oh, and he plays hard as fuck. Okay, he plays hard as fuck. Giannis does about 3 things every time he goes to score. Giannis makes his points from about 15 feet from the basket. That's where all of his points come from, about 15, 20 feet from the basket. He'll make 1, 3, or 2 maybe a fucking game. But Giannis makes his money about 15 feet from around the basket. Right? Giannis does 3 things every time he goes. If he's on a fast break, he's going to drive to the paint, and then he's going to keep the ball high, and that's what he's going to keep it there. Once again, his length. Because he has a lot of length, right? He keeps the ball up high, and then he dunks it on like 2, 3 people because he's so lengthy, and not too many players can really get up there and get that. Like, you see it when his matchup with Ayton. He's more agile than Ayton, and he has more length. So when he rises up, it's hard for Ayton to block his shit because he has more length than Ayton, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, he has more length than Ayton. Right? They're about similar in height. So he has more length than Ayton. Right? Second thing he does, when he's coming down in the lane, he's going to do 2 moves. He's going to do a Euro step, or he's going to do a spin move and go up and dunk. Now, when he catches it in the half court, he faces up, he drives, bully ball, goes up, dunks it. That is Giannis's game. That is his whole offensive arsenal. What Giannis has, you can't teach what he has. You can't teach his length. You can't teach his height. You can't teach his agility. And you can't teach how he plays hard. You can't teach that. So Giannis is a great player based off of his natural ability. That is his natural ability. Giannis is like a sharp knife, right? He already cuts really well. All we got to do is just polish it now, right? So Giannis isn't skilled. Giannis is just what his natural ability is, what he was born with, what he can naturally do, right? His natural talent. Talent is what you already have. Right? Skill. skill is not the same as natural talent. Natural talent and ability, you already have that. You born with it. Giannis was born with all of that shit. Skill is something that you have to work on over and over and over and over and over and over again. Then you develop a skill. For example, Devin Booker is skilled because what Devin Booker does, you can't just do with just natural ability. What he does, you really got to work on that shit. You're not going to go in an NBA game at the highest level and do a fucking fast break in and out behind the back, step back hezzy, shoot the ball. You're not going to, you have to work on that and develop that type of skill. Chris Paul, the way he splits screens, the way he does it in and out and gets to his spots in the paint every single time, right? That mid-range area, and then his ability to assist other players and make them better, that's skill. Because you have to work on that. James Harden is skilled. Because you don't see too many people doing what he do. That's what skill is. When you don't see too many people doing what you see some of these guys do. That's skill. Giannis isn't skilled. What he does is he plays hard and relies on his already natural ability. Right? And that works for him. He can change the game. He blocks shots. He does a bunch of shit. But he has natural ability. He's not skilled. And when James Harden made that statement, that was true. Right? I would have just emphasized and went into detail more. Why? But when James Harden said that, like he wish he could just go up and down the coast to coast and just dunk the ball every time, that's what the fuck Giannis does. It doesn't take skill to dunk the fucking ball when you're already 7 feet and you got over a 7-foot wingspan and you're athletic. Then they put weight on him now. That ain't skill. That doesn't take skill to do that. Right? So, Giannis is a great player though, but he's not skilled. He relies on his natural ability and he plays hard. Chris Middleton isn't necessarily skilled, but he's fundamentally sound. Like Chris Middleton isn't finna come hit you with a in and out behind the back between the legs cross pull up. That's not his game. He's fundamentally sound. He gonna come off a screen. He gonna get in that motherfucker. He may do a step back pull up, or he may, use his body to get to where he won't spin off. You go do a reverse layup. Like he's really fundamentally sound. He may hit you with a jab step. You don't bite. He pulling up. Really fundamentally sound, but not skilled. The problem with the Milwaukee Bucks is a couple key reasons. One, they don't know who their leader is. They don't know if Chris Middleton is their leader or Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the problem is Giannis is not a good leader because there should be no confusion about who's the leader of the team. We all understand Giannis is the franchise player, but they don't understand who is the leader. That's why, what was it, game one? No, it was the game two. Giannis had like 42 points, but there was a point in time where they stopped going to him for a period of time. LeBron James is a great leader. Chris Paul is a good leader. Guys who who the team belongs to, who's leading the team. There's no confusion about it. They don't know who it is. Then Chris Middleton drops like what? What'd he drop? Middleton had... What do you have? 11 points. Now let's look at some numbers quick. Giannis had 42 points, 12 rebounds. Tucker had 7 points, 5 rebounds. Middleton, 11 points, 8 assists. Lopez, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Holiday, 7.7 assists. You only got, what? 2 guys that are in double digits. Let's hear the Sun stats. Listen to this. 11 points, 10 rebounds for Crowder. 27 points, 7 rebounds for Bridges. 23 points, 8 assists for Paul. 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 31 points for Booker. Their whole 5 is scoring in double digits. They're playing team fucking basketball, and everybody is playing their role to the T, and they're playing team organized basketball. The Bucks are not ready for that shit, as we can see. I believe they're going to win game 3, but I don't think they win in the NBA Finals. All the Suns got to do is what they've been doing this entire season. That's all they got to keep doing in order to win the championship. That's it. That's it. We would see a different Bucks team if Giannis just, I believe, like he's a genuinely good person. I like him as a person and as a player. But the problem is you cannot be a good leader when you're afraid to hurt people's feelings. Like Kobe Bryant wasn't scared to hurt people's feelings. Chris Paul ain't scared to hurt people's feelings. LeBron ain't scared to hurt people's feelings. And they are all great leaders. Rest in peace to Kobe. They're all great leaders. Each and every one of them not hurt. Giannis, he's a good person. He doesn't really want to yell at nobody. He did it one time for the first fucking time. And it's like, yo, where was this energy years ago? Giannis too afraid to hurt people's feelings. Middleton wants to be the leader, but he know Giannis is there. They don't know. The Bucks are playing one-on-one basketball. Suns are playing team basketball. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck how great your team is. If you're playing against a good team who's playing organized team basketball, swing the ball 10, 11 times, keep making a defense shift, and you have to guard them as a team, you're gonna have a hard time. On top of that, like, these guys are performing at a high level, each and every one of them. So Giannis is a great player, but he's not a skilled player. It's hard to. He has natural ability, and that's what he relies on. Giannis' game has not changed since he got to the NBA. You can't say that about LeBron. You can't say that about Harden. You can't say that. But these are skilled players, though. You can't say the same about Russell Westbrook. Like, these are skilled players because not everybody can do what they do. And these guys aren't freakishly long, crazy. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between skill and natural ability. Okay? Giannis would be unstoppable if he stopped fucking around and just developed a mid-range jump shot about 20, 25 feet. If he could knock that down consistently, Giannis would be really, really, really tough to guard because of his length, and he's athletic. Just like Dirk was a 7-footer. It was impossible to block his shot because every time he leaned back, you're not blocking that. Giannis would be a really, really, really great player if he just developed a consistent 15, 20-foot shot. But he can't shoot. He still gets buckets, but he's not a skilled player. The Bucks overall are a better team, but the Suns are playing better as a team. The Bucks are not finna win this, dog. Sorry. It's not finna happen. Bucks ain't finna win this shit. Y'all might as well go ahead and you know what I mean, get your motherfucking tissue ready because it's not happening. Sorry. They weren't ready for what the Phoenix Suns had to offer as a team. As a team, they weren't ready for that. Nobody was ready for what the fucking Phoenix Suns was about to do this year. Maybe next year for Giannis. Listen, I would be flabbergasted if the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA championship. The Lord might be with them. The ancestors might be with that whole team. That's the only way they win in this motherfucker. I believe they're going to win game 3, but I don't think they. Nah, bro. Sorry. So, just know, Phoenix Suns, I believe they winning it. If they keep playing this type of basketball, which they've been playing all season, there's no reason why they aren't going to. Bucks. Maybe next year. Not because then LeBron finna come back with more. Like, the Bucks probably missed one legit chance to win a ring. If they don't get it this year, it's gonna be real hard for them. Because you got to worry about LeBron, who's making it damn near every year. Don't forget about Brooklyn. Suns, they got it. There's shit that the Milwaukee Bucks got to figure out that they should have figured out years ago. They don't know who their real leader is. And Giannis isn't a good leader because he's too afraid to hurt people's feelings. Like, he doesn't want to, like, he'll say, like, yo, I don't even, like, I'm a good person. Like, and I love that about folks, but You can't be a good leader worrying about being a good person. Okay. People hated Jordan because he wanted to win. People hated Chris Paul because he wanted to win. People, like, you know what I mean? You hate these, but they're great leaders. So, Suns in 5, my opinion. Suns in 5, my opinion. Giannis is a great player. Middleton is really fundamentally sound. I like Drew Holiday, though. I ain't even going to forget it. I like Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is their consistent two-way player. He's their consistent two-way player. But once again, Bucks aren't good at team defense playing as a team. They're not. Giannis is like running down and blocking shots and shit off the backboard. That's what he does. Like, his length, his athleticism, his agility. Like, of course he's going to do that. But that's not team basketball. That's just Giannis blocking some shit. That's him changing the directory of shots and shit. And you know what I mean? Like, but that's Giannis, though, because everybody on his team isn't doing it. So, you heard it from me, man. Anybody who really knows basketball gonna understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Bucks in 5. Another episode of Tevin Talks. You heard it here first. If you ain't heard it nowhere else, you heard?
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration.